Yes.
This whole week I've been like, not sure where.
That's fine, I just want
Kind of just freaked me out a little bit. Probably could have fit it on one.
We're good, Dick.
We're good. Camera's on?
We're good,
Yes,
okay.
Camera's on.
Is it 9 o'clock?
Yep.
Yes, it is. Open the meeting, please, stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. Okay. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? Do you have anything?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
The agenda will stand as read then. Approval of minutes. I looked them over pretty good. I'd make a motion to approve minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay, minutes,
I'm good with it.
minutes will stand as read.
Yep.
Okay. Now we're into the financial report.
So our beginning cash balance was $1,116,619.86. We have had no deposits. Our charges, a PCORI fee, which is a little abnormal. It's done once a year.
What's that now?
It's called a PCORI fee, PCORI fee.
Yeah.
And I think that it's for health insurance, but Donna was standing right outside, but she's not there anymore. It's something that we have to do annually.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, but I think next year, it's not, we don't have to do it anymore, if I understand what she said.
Was that right?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Just so I
then
understand.
everything is pretty normal, MERS, HRA, accounts payable. So the total charges were $466,775.17. And our ending cash balance is $649,844.69.
Okay. Number 2, approval of accounts payable.
Only question I have is that grid inspection, Dwayne, is that an annual thing we're going through?
Biannual.
Every other year you're gonna have to do it?
Yep.
Okay.
Every other year, yeah. What is this, U.S. nuclear
I was just gonna
regulation?
ask that, Dick. I was just gonna ask that.
It's for the source for doing density on gravel, right?
Yep.
For what now?
For our
Their
density
density.
gauge.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They got a little machine that measures the density on the gravel when they do a job.
Yeah,
I guess I don't remember ever seeing that before,
Yes,
so.
it's an annual fee. we have to
Okay.
pay, Yeah.
all right, all right.
I make a motion, we pay the bills.
All support?
Support.
Okay. Public comment? Who's first? Are you here for public comment?
I'm here from MERS, yes, I'm not sure where
She's
you
on the
went.
agenda for MERS.
Okay.
I'll introduce myself. I'm Matt Shunk.
Mr. Shunk, yes, sir?
I guess I got voted in last year for the 2-year term. So I'm here learning.
You're here learning. Well, good to have you, Max.
Yep.
Welcome, Max.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome.
Very good. If you have any questions, just,
Speak up, huh? All right.
but, well, that's good. I'm glad you're here. Everything's good. Okay, is there any more for public comment? Nothing. Nobody. Okay. Going to policy procedures number 1, huh?
So here was my question, and I wanted more clarification than anything. So it was brought up about policies and procedures, and how does the board know about them? And should they be on our website? Should they not be on our website? And so I guess I'm just wanting a little clarification. So I brought for your information, here are 2, just 2.
Yeah, just
Of
two.
the binders from when we began, and I don't even know when we began, but I know that in here, I've seen stuff from 1930.
Oh my gosh.
Jim, are those the black minute books? Is that what them are?
The minutes,
Are the minutes in them?
no.
Okay.
So our
Those are
minutes,
just policy and procedures.
our minutes are actually in the vault, so if something ever happened to us, I hope that they don't burn.
Yeah.
So what was done is when Lori Lightfoot was here, Steve had hired her.
Go ahead.
Steve had hired her to pull, she went through every single set of minutes from the beginning to when she was here and gone. This book is board policies, and there's an index, almost like a library index. These are personnel policies. And then Sandy, I don't know if all of you know Sandy.
Yeah.
She was here, she would come in when Donna and I had to be gone to a conference together and fill in. And she went from where Lori went to the most current. And then anytime she comes in when we're gone together, she will go and finish this from where she ended to where she's at today. But this is just 2, and I believe there's 3 or 4 more under there.
Okay, so rather than getting the weeds on this,
Yep.
we need to have policies, obviously. We need to have updated policies. We need to keep them current. We need somebody assigned to them of things that need to be updated, that are lapsed, that are enforceable, that are, we need to have everything in a row, right?
Yeah.
But are you asking,
I do
do you
not-
want those
I
on
do
the
not-
website, Kim?
I do not want these on a website.
Yeah, that's a
I mean,
lot.
come on, it costs us $10,000 to get that on a
No,
website,
we
so,
would want that, no.
But just make sure they're available, that they're current, they're enforceable, that they're, that we've agreed on.
Everything's on the up and up, yeah.
Dwayne, go ahead and chime in on this.
Do we have like a yearly review or something?
I mean, at this point where we're at, I'd like to, I think it's a good idea to get them updated
Yeah.
and current
Right.
and on our website and simplified.
Absolutely.
But if that could be maybe like a winter project on
Yeah.
our end, because right now.
Right now, we're pretty darn busy.
Right.
Well, true story though. Yeah.
But no, on the website, I think that's just too much.
Well,
Oh,
we can simplify
Buy
it.
it.
Like
Yeah.
a 2-page,
Well, yeah, if we
1-page,
get that
2-page
reduced
policy.
down to 1 book instead of
or even put on the website that we have extensive amount of policies and procedures, that they are available for the public.
if they want to look
If they
at
want
To
it.
sum it up. yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
I think like policies that are on the website right now is our FOIA policy.
Right.
And things like that. That's
Yeah.
important, and that's all public knowledge.
Right,
So I
right.
think those should go on our website.
Mhm.
That's kind of a given.
Those type, yes.
Is
Yeah.
that-
There's a simple way to do a yearly review, like if we did have a chance to get it all, just in the titles of them, where we could to have something pop up that said this needs a yearly review.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We've had a change made to something like
Yeah.
the one that's in our packet today about abandonment,
Mhm.
Yes,
you know, that kind of thing, and update.
we can do that.
We just have a review, have a session where we review once a year at least.
And by law, there are things that I have to put on the website for transparency
Sure.
reasons, like our audit and
Yeah.
Oh,
things
absolutely.
like that, so.
Okay, that's settled.
Okay, well,
We're all in agreement on that, I think.
number 2, bridge report, Boss Gettler, is ongoing.
Yeah, that's the same. I haven't heard anything about any grants yet, so.
No,
No, it's just a waiting game at
So-
this
It's gonna
point.
take a while.
Mhm.
all right. Number 3, Surrey Road, Sheridan Township. How about that one?
That one's done, closed out.
Done? Good.
Yep, and we billed, Sheridan Township, billed,
Good.
I will be billing.
approved, okay.
You will be doing it.
Yeah, I
But,
have,
yeah.
I think 4 or 5 on my list
Yeah,
that I have to be billed, so as soon as I got you all of the projects on a sheet,
Mhm.
and I think I have 3 that I think we went over, and then David mentioned billing that one as
Yep.
well to that list.
Yep.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's been.
So we can take that off the agenda?
so,
Yes.
Take it off.
Okay.
Yep.
so that one is a done deal now, right?
Yes,
Okay. Now,
And just
then,
update us at the next meeting that it is billed and everything's done.
Yep, absolutely.
then
I
that-
can actually bring you in a list of what I will have billed, if that's okay?
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
with everybody?
Yeah.
that's good, all right. Number 4, Hobbs and Black Architects,
yep, so this is,
that's quite a lengthy,
so I guess, this is going back to the presentation last board meeting.
yeah,
And I guess I don't know what everyone's thoughts are on it as far as, so if we approved his proposal, this would start the process of the building evaluation and the study and kind of putting everything together. And then we could go forth with like coming up with a plan and then start the whole process.
well, you know, all that paperwork we had from them, you know, it's, looks like a big project. We're gonna boil it down, pare it down to just what we need, our needs are, right?
Correct, yes.
Are they gonna go through that whole procedure of looking at every building and every
I think you'll have like an overall,
overall?
like where we're at, and then we incorporate our idea of the expansion, and then they keep it going from there. And,
It just made it sound like, boy, they're gonna do the whole,
Do we know what we're even trying, what are you trying to do? What are we looking to do, Mike?
I guess my ultimate goal was to add on the wash bay,
the wash, right?
And then,
Yes, yes.
foreman's office with like maybe an area where we can have meetings and, because right now we have the break room or this room is
I know.
really all we have.
No,
And then, some inside storage for some materials and small equipment, and then a lean-to where we park our spare equipment underneath
the
during the
ones
winter.
that's outside, then.
That was big, that's,
So do we have any numbers for just that?
no, but, no.
That's what we wanna start doing, that's what you wanna do is,
This
start
would be
getting
the
numbers for just
starting
that?
process. Right?
okay.
Okay,
And then,
yeah.
and then he could start putting things together, and then we could even like, kind of determine, do we want to put it out to bid this winter, or next winter, or next fall, and like, it's kind of like a 2-year. But he would be able to lock in the USDA loan once we got a rough estimate, cost estimate, and lock in the loan. I guess those are good for like 3 years, so you lock in the rate now, and then you have 3 years to actually do anything, but,
Okay.
or we can table this till, I mean, I'm not in a big hurry about it, that's,
No,
This
but you wanna
study-
You
get
just
your,
wanna lock it
you wanna
in?
get your ducks in a row.
Mhm.
it was, yeah,
Will this identify critical needs first?
that's
Like
the
if
goal,
we have,
yeah.
if we have something wrong with the building,
Right,
that maybe needs repaired,
Well,
that's what we're
we,
looking at doing
we
first.
also have to understand that we get reports from
Insurance.
Crasip or
Right.
McCrisip, I can't, McCrisip,
Right.
Yeah.
yes? That there are some things in our building that need attention as
Right,
well.
Yeah,
I remember
right.
him mentioning that.
Certain beams
Mhm.
that are necessary to be looked at, maybe not this month, but next month.
Mhm.
So he would identify those as well.
Doesn't that come under OSHA or not?
I don't think it's an OSHA issue, it's just a safety
Building safety.
issue that we really need to be paying attention to.
Insurance, yeah.
Laws, a lot of laws have changed since we built this building. You know, I think it's back in 63 or something like that, you
Yeah,
know,
it
so
hasn't
fire
been
suppression
updated.
stuff and anything like that. But once you open a remodeling can of worms, you gotta fall under all that new stuff. And
Well,
No, I know.
That's what my concern is if we do a full-fledged appraisal,
Yeah,
structural, mechanical, electrical, and environmental, we could be putting ourselves out there for a multi-million-dollar
we're not gonna do that.
liability fix. So my suggestion would be, what are your needs? Let's address your needs. I don't.
And concentrate on the
Yeah,
needs, yeah.
and if you have things that you know right off the get-go, for instance, we don't have handicap accessible bathrooms. I don't need an architect to tell me that.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Hire a plumber to make that right.
Mm-hmm.
Just- I'd rather spend 20 grand on fixing things than 20 grand on an architect to tell me I need to fix things.
Mm-hmm.
But that's me.
Well, I'm kinda on the same page there, yeah.
So,
I'm kind of neutral on it at this point, honestly.
Yeah,
I don't-
which,
but if we were to identify our needs today, what are your expansion needs? I'm all in on it. If you need a foreman room, I understand that. If you need a wash bay, I understand that. Let's
Okay.
address those. I don't need the architect to tell me how to,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then is it $20,000 for the architect to tell me what I need to do? And then we employ him right through the process, so it escalates and grows.
yeah, I was thinking the same thing when I looked at all the figures that they had down, and, you know, that you've got here.
And then if we do expand, where do we go? If we're gonna have office space, it's gotta go out front, right?
Well, that's what the
It would
architects
go
do.
Yeah.
over behind the shop.
Yeah.
area.
Behind the shop?
Yeah, but,
Well, we could, it's something to look at.
yeah, I don't want to, I really don't want to spend a lot of time on this, like,
Yeah, we don't either.
Well, kick it
You're gonna
around.
make a motion to table it, is that what you're suggesting, or just let it sit and revisit it in January?
Well, I don't know
we'll
about
table
that.
it for, let's table it for,
What, first of the year? Or-
yeah.
That's a good winter project as well.
I'd say when things slow down here, we can,
Okay, do you wanna
Revisit
do
this.
that then?
What?
Do you think that's a good idea, just
I
table?
would, I would think so, yes.
Okay, okay. I'll make that motion. Do we need a motion?
Mm-hmm,
I'll second it, Kim.
so we're tabling till when?
January?
Okay.
First of the year, just put some words.
They would have 1 foot of snow on the ground.
Then your needs will be different.
Okay,
Yeah.
and it's 80 degrees.
we move on to number 5, organizational chart. Number 5,
So obviously, it looks different. So what we did, just because we are still
yeah.
so very up in the air with people and where they're going and
Yeah.
what they are in and the changes that will be made, that's still a lot changing. So we kind of decided to just take numbers and equipment numbers off, and this will just do for now.
Mhm.
Because no
Okay.
matter who in the union is gonna change and flop and flip-flop, this still will be for now. So
Mhm.
this is
That's
where
good.
we're at.
Good.
Okay, that's good.
Just wanted you to see it, be aware of it, and
Just an update, and I apologize, I didn't send out an email. I kind of forgot in the hecticness of everything, but Greg Hilliard's the
Mhm.
South Foreman now,
South Foreman for
Yes.
Greg, yeah.
correct?
Mhm. But, as you mentioned before, I mean, Bruce, good man, he just decided he didn't want to get that
Bruce
responsibility.
did a great job, but it was his decision that
Yeah,
he
right,
didn't feel like
just so
he
we know.
wanted that position anymore, so
wasn't anything to do with his work or anything.
Nope.
Just so we all know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that's good. Okay, what's next on the agenda here? Have you got any, different agenda?
There's another
Second
page.
page.
Second page there, Jack.
Here's my second.
Right
Oh,
here.
there it is. Okay. All right. New business, MERS information.
So this is Debbie Rochester.
Yeah.
She's the benefit plan administrator, advisor. And,
Hi, Debbie.
Hello.
I don't know, Donna, if you wanna at least step in the doorway so you can kinda talk about what you and Debbie and have talked about before we go on to the next spreadsheet.
Well, Elaine also,
Mm-hmm.
if you wanna explain what are plans?
Do you wanna go through the numbers first, or do you wanna?
Well,
I think we should probably let her speak and then if she wants, you
yeah,
know.
that's a good idea. We'll
We need to,
hear from, we'll hear from
what we
Debbie.
were thinking on, any new hires, Debbie's about to present to you. It's a 401K instead of.
401A.
Or 401A.
401K, it's called.
Public employees type thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
and then there's adjoining 457 with that as well.
Okay,
So the goal is to kind of draw the line in the sand, and then going forward, any new hires would fall under, their retirement would be the 401A/457 plan,
I see. Mhm.
not the defined benefit.
So this would save the road commission money overall?
Yes, and it's
Well,
more,
Debbie could probably
But we-
answer
it will be a
that.
defined contribution on the road commission's end.
Uh-huh.
So we know exactly how much we're spending on each person's retirement per year.
Good.
And it's not fluctuated with the MERS in the market and having to fund the whole MERS.
That's right, that's
Do the
right.
employees still contribute?
The employees can, and I think
Okay.
we have, the employees will, yes, they can contribute by whatever the law is, the max per year. But we would have to determine, I guess, how we wanna, I think we have the flexibility to set up our match program however we want, like,
Yeah.
if we wanna match up to 5%, you know, of the employee's contribution, then they can put in whatever they want about, beyond that. So we're flexible with what we
Sure.
can come up with. or
Okay,
what we
Deb,
think
you
is
got
fair.
it.
Through it, right?
What's
Do
that?
you want me to just kind of walk?
Yeah.
through it?
Yeah, please.
So good morning, everybody.
Good
Morning.
I
morning.
have a handout I'll get you to take. So as was mentioned, I'm Debbie Rochester. I work at MERS. So my job's kind of split with MERS, where part of the time I'm a benefit plan advisor. So I work with groups like yourselves when you're thinking about bringing in new programs. And then the other part, and what I've done probably more with the Road Commission over the years, is I'm also the education specialist. So a week ago, I was actually here doing employee education on the defined benefit, on the healthcare savings program. So I'm usually out here once a year doing that on-site education. We started, excuse me, to have that conversation about defined contribution, or it is considered to be a 401A plan. So it's kind of like a 401K plan that you see in the private sector, but because it's governmental, the rules from the IRS are a little bit different. So when you think about how a defined contribution plan works under a 401A, it is that defined contribution. So compared to the defined benefit plan today, where at the end of the day, the employees have this promised lifetime benefit based on a formula that we utilize to figure out what they're going to be paid in retirement. And that varies the cost to you as the road commission over the years. Defined contribution, you specify what the contribution structure is going to be. And so it is up to the road commission to kind of decide what that's going to be, where there could be employer contributions that are just a flat percentage. So for example, everybody receives 5% of pay, for example. It can be a matching contribution, so you could say for every dollar that the employee is putting in, we're matching up to a threshold of this. It can even be a combination. We see that quite a bit actually, where it might be that everybody is going to receive 4% of pay, for example, and to entice them to save more, we will match, dollar for dollar or 50 cents on the dollar up to another 4% contribution. So you guys have a lot of flexibility as far as how you would like that to look. Some of the ways that defined contribution in a 401A structure are different and a little bit quirky, quite honestly, is when there is employee contributions, if it's coming into the 401A plan. So let's say you've got this matching formula. So let's just say that they're going to be matched dollar for dollar up to 6% of pay. So if Dwayne hires somebody and they're coming into the 401A program, they're going to decide as they start what that contribution is going to be. Well, if their money is going into a 401A plan, they can never change their contribution. So that's very different from a 401K, and it's an IRS rule. It's not a rule that we put in place. So what we've started to do, and you guys already have a 457 or deferred compensation with us, is we have all the employer money going into the 401A plan because that is a qualified retirement plan. But then any of the money that the employee wants to put in, we have their contributions going into 457 or deferred compensation, because that's a program that they can change their contributions at any time. So if I decide that I'm going to start contributing 3% as I get hired, but then next year I'm like, well, I want to save a little bit more. By doing it that way, the employee has the flexibility to be able to change their contribution. So that's kind of the best design feature that we see, is having the two programs run side by side.
Is there a certain time limit when they can change it?
No, they can basically change on a monthly basis.
Oh.
Or it's actually, I think the wording is as administratively feasible. So,
Okay.
I always joke with employees, you don't want to go to payroll every week and say, oh, by the way, I'd like to change my contribution to payroll. That's not really
No,
administratively
right.
feasible.
Right.
But basically on a monthly basis.
Mhm.
And in 457, the employees have a limit of how much they can put in. So this year, everybody can contribute up to $19,500. So those limits and that look and feel of a 457 plan to an employee looks more like what they would have had in a 401k plan if they had been in the
Sure.
private sector.
Mhm.
So that's kind of a nice design setup that we can do those running side by side. Some of the advantages to the road commission is you've got this fixed cost, right? So what we often see that some groups will do is they'll say, well, if our normal cost in defined benefit is, let's say, 7% of pay, but we know that that changes every year because of the liability and the assumptions and the market performance, but we know we've got this fixed cost of 7%, then that maybe is what we're going to have going into defined contribution. And the nice thing about defined contribution is it's always going to be that 7% of pay. So it's very easy to do the math to say 7% of our payroll equals X. We don't have to worry about this variable cost. We don't have to worry about liability. So that's kind of the advantage of defined contribution or 401A structure. They can, as was said, draw that line in the sand and say, okay, all new hires are going to start coming into a defined contribution plan. With the union, Dwayne, to a conversation last week, it really has to be a letter of understanding that you have with the group to be able to make those changes before it's a point of negotiation. So if you're not into negotiations for a couple of years, it still can be something that gets put into place fairly easily, even with the union groups.
I did research that as well, and I've had some conversations, and it's everybody's supportive of this, so.
Like I know some of the pushback, like I know when we've talked about this with other groups, is people will have, and I think more union groups will talk about this quite a bit, where it's not as easy to attract and retain employees when you have a defined contribution compared to a defined benefit. I think as long as you structure it as a valuable benefit that they're receiving, something equitable to what they would have had in a defined benefit plan, that, benefit is still there. And there's actually a lot of research now where with younger workers, particularly with millennials, they don't have that same mindset that was out there years ago where
Right.
people walk into their first job and that's where they're staying. People are, moving around a lot more, so in that respect, a defined contribution plan can actually be perceived as a nicer benefit because it's portable. It gives them that portability. So I think as long as you're designing it to be something there where they see that they're receiving value from their employer, you can attract and retain employees, just as well.
That's your question. You said it's portable, so if we have somebody leave, could they take the 401 and 457 with them?
Yeah, so one of the things with employer contributions, just like defined benefit, you can put a vesting schedule on it, right? So if you guys want to have the same vesting schedule as you have in defined benefit, or maybe something different than that, you've got that ability. So if, let's say you have a 6-year vesting schedule, so they have to work there for 6 years to own the employer contributions. But yeah, if they leave and they're fully vested, just like if you've ever been in a 401k plan and you can roll that money over, it's the same thing with a defined contribution.
Want to make sure I was clear.
Yeah. A lot of times in defined contribution, it could be a graduated vesting schedule, so you might say after 1 year they're 20% vested, 2 years 40, that type of thing.
We're still at 10 years, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
How many?
10.
Yeah. And with defined contribution, we don't see a lot of groups using that long of a vesting schedule just because the structure is a little bit different, but, again, it can be whatever the commission wants that to be.
So we need to have a discussion on that
Yeah.
specifics, right? So I agree that's the way it has to go.
I do.
As this unfolds here in a few minutes, we'll see why. So how do you want to do that? I mean, do you have it figured out, or what do you need from us?
I guess if you guys support this,
Yeah.
for next board meeting, I can have some ideas
Yep.
as far as what I think is a fair
So,
match and a vesting
Yes.
schedule.
yes,
Mhm.
And then I guess if we approve, then for next board meeting, we can put that on the agenda.
beautiful.
Sounds
And
good.
then if you guys approve it, then
That's good.
we're
Yeah.
going.
I'm not sure in the order if we would need to have the LOU with it, do you know, before we adopt it?
The letter of
Or-
understanding?
Yeah, would we need that with the adoption of it at the board?
No. So typically, and I'll clarify this with our office, but typically, the letter of understanding is just internal with you guys. It's not necessarily
Okay.
something we need. You guys are going to put, it's probably that, they're just like your defined benefit, there's gonna be different divisions, right? So for union, non-union.
Yep.
And those can look different too, when you set up the structure, if you want that to look different for each,
I
group
see.
that we've got in.
I guess.
But, then you can go from there with your
I
union,
think
people just to
that's
have that letter of
The
understanding
way,
on
that's the
file.
way we should handle it.
That's
Yeah,
good.
so you need to have that before it becomes in effect, right? So if you're making this effective for whatever,
Yeah.
but then, if it gets, adopted, then we just send out the adoption paperwork for it to get set up and then do that training with the staff internally. It would be the same scenario where when people are being hired, you've got the opportunity for me to come out and do education, because the big difference obviously with defined contribution for an employee from what they've had in defined benefit is that these are invested accounts, right? So they have choice of investment. So luckily it's the same investments that we use in healthcare savings, so they're not, or 457, so they're not, having to learn 3 investment menus.
Yeah.
But just understanding all those nuances of how it's a little bit different.
Good, very good.
Yeah, one of the other key differences I'll just point out of a defined contribution of 401A compared to a 401, or a 401A compared to a 401K. So in a 401K plan, people can start to take distributions at age 59 and a half, right? If they leave employment, they do it before there's that 10% penalty from the IRS. In a 401A, because it's governmental, if somebody is working here on January 1st of the year they turn 55 and then they leave employment, they can take money out without that penalty. So it just allows for that earlier retirement. And so that's another question we get a lot, particularly from work groups, is really like our guys don't want to be here till 59 and a half. Well, this works well that 55 can be that out period for them too.
Thank you.
Yep.
Is there anything else?
No, I think so. You want me to stay for going through and then,
Donna,
Yes.
she should stay through this explanation, correct? in case there are questions.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try my best. I'm not Tony, but I can answer.
I just talked to him yesterday.
Oh, did you?
He talks so fast that
I know.
I still just like.
Okay, Kim, the next one is this quarterly statement.
Yep, so we're gonna have Donna, we're gonna tag team it.
Okay, let's go with it.
So I requested here last meeting or a couple meetings ago, I'd like to know what what we've paid in MERS in the last 10 years, and they provided that information.
Yeah.
Thank you. So essentially what I wanted to do, Debbie, is, and everybody here, is get a handle on what we pay in MERS versus our gross or what our net income is, and to kind of get a trend on where it's going. So a couple things I'll ask for is, how much money do we owe MERS today?
Do you know that, Kim? I don't know what your liability is exactly.
That we owe today.
Today.
That's the 8 million.
Is that what it is?
You
$8
got a
million?
balance of 8
To be
million.
100% funded.
Yeah, and then my next question is,
Mm-hmm.
is now we owe MERS $8 million. 10 years ago when I left the road commission, we were 90-some% funded. Then all of a sudden now we're $8 million in the red on our MERS.
I don't know, I'm not sure, since I've been employed here, have we ever been funded in the 90%?
We were.
Well, I guess when Steve was here.
Yeah, that was a long time
Okay.
ago,
Well,
right?
maybe it was longer than 10 years.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
But it was 90-some%.
And it was always a conscious effort of the road commission to keep that funded, so we didn't get
In the
a
red.
big red box of $8 million.
Mm-hmm.
So it screams,
So my question is, how much do I owe today? And you say it's
$8.6 million.
Mm-hmm.
That was 2018. It's
Oh, I'm sorry,
so it's 8.0 now.
8.027 is in 331.20.
So in 2 years we chipped it down 600,000.
Oh,
Okay, so if we're gonna chip, how many years of chipping is it gonna take to get that funded?
10.
10 years?
That's our plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the amortization schedule that they're on is within a 10-year period, if all assumptions are met, right, so that's the caveat to it.
But that, the caveat, Debbie, is that there's assumption made on interest rates, stock market performance, bond rate performance, blah, 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 life expectancy of the employees, all these things are coming in. And my question is, Deb, will we ever get that done?
You can, it's just understanding that it does ebb and flow, right, because of all of those things. So,
Mhm.
you know, unfortunately, we don't have crystal balls.
Right.
Nor we probably ever get one approved in the budget. You know, and so as we look at it and say, if all things are met in 10 years' time, your liability will be gone. You
Would
know,
anybody in this room like to bet me $1,000?
well,
Anybody?
here's something that,
No, we gotta put it into MERS, that $1,000.
Well,
here's something that
Go ahead,
Donna
Kim.
and I had asked of MERS. So, listening to what you listen to, and let's just say it goes in one ear and out the other. Donna and I figured out that we, let's just say, feel somewhat the same. You go to the meetings and I feel like I listen to want. And I don't feel that the return is right. I don't feel that the rate of return is what it is. Obviously, that's why we are where we are.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of lengthy discussions with our rep and then with a couple other people as well. So we had asked from Sonia here, we were at this office, and said, what do we need to do? What do we need to do to be more proactive for our people, for the road commission and the people? So back when Tim was talking, when we were in that 90%, I wasn't here.
Yeah.
But when we got to that point, we were, again, way before my time, 100% funded. And MERS wasn't saying to our group, make sure you keep making payments. So we stopped making payments. No one knew any better.
I see.
And MERS wasn't saying anything, so what we did is, we added, say, 3 riders. We added a RS-50 rider, we added the F-55 rider, and so what that did, we were here, and then that just made us go up the ladder. And I mean, it all matters. And then still, we weren't paying our payments. And what that did is just made our costs go
Way up.
right, and so we're kind of paying as well. We still have those riders. I'm not complaining by all means, but it's now just inflated the cost, as you say, and how are we gonna get out of that? So, we have asked for a no phase-in, which means we want to be funded quicker. Currently, are they on a 20 or 15, a 20-year smoothing? We've asked for a 10-year smoothing, which means instead of going like this, we're gonna go like, we wanna get there, well, technically up. We wanna get there in 10 years instead of 20.
Yeah.
So,
That's your
when we
goal.
tell them that, they put us on a different phase schedule, and then they tell us what to budget for in our budget.
Yeah.
So, our payment could be, so if we were in a tough budget year, we could go back to what they say we should pay, which is, let's just say $47,000 a month.
Yeah.
We are requesting that to pay $70,500 to get our liability from the past where it should be under control. And if at any time we get into a pinch with our budget, we can certainly go back and just pay the $47,000.
So it's, yeah.
It's like
It's
making an
like
extra
trying to
house.
pay down your
Like a double
mortgage quicker.
payment.
It's like making an extra house payment.
Exactly.
Yes.
I mean, that's basically.
Paying more to the principal.
So basically, we're paying now what we didn't pay back then, we're just
Correct.
trying to pay
Yeah.
catch up right
Just pay more
now.
on the
I
principal.
remember when that
Yeah.
happened.
So that money would have been coming out all these years anyway.
And you
But-
can't just say that that
But-
was the only problem.
The calculus changes.
Correct.
Uh-huh.
They were
Yeah.
basing it on a different rate of return. And we know, and you're on that as well, that that's all changed. The
At
assumptions
the
are
end of the
different.
day, we are paying over 10% of our budget for retirement benefits.
But that's why Dwayne's trying to change things right now.
agree.
Mhm.
Right.
Right.
So we're nipping in the butt, but we're still gonna have to.
And we
We
made.
have the plan
Mhm.
to the best that we can, you know, with all the variables. And then now we're moving forward, drawing the line in the sand,
Good,
and
that's,
then, you know.
And we did
it
make
takes
changes.
time, but it will,
Yes, that just happened in 2018, that phase-in,
Okay,
Yeah.
the change we made.
so it's fairly new.
It just happened.
But since 2014, we had been making extra payments,
Yeah.
trying to do the right thing. Then the surplus division happened, we took that right away. And any extra payments we had paid, we pulled out in the divisions that we were putting them in, because we didn't know that you could do that. We pulled them all out and put them right into the surplus
I see.
division. So you're not overstating your assets.
Mhm.
Okay,
Well, it's,
I think we're on the right track.
Move
I
on,
think
move on.
we are. I think we are.
thank
Okay,
you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing you
thank
again.
you.
Thanks, Deb.
Yep, take care.
Yes, you as well.
Number 2, resolution for the Randy Carr Road over the Mill Creek. Resolution.
Yes, so we received our contract. You don't, because
Okay, I'm looking through it.
we already approved the contract.
Okay, yeah,
So we
that was a
have-
while ago.
We have the 2 contracts back. So
Okay.
the resolution basically just needs to say, who the 2 authorized signatures will be, and normally that's the chair and Dwayne.
Okay.
And then, basically naming in that resolution, I'll put the contract number, the, control section, the job number, and the description of the location. So basically, you just need to make a motion to approve the resolution, and then I'll type it all up, and my name goes on it, and that we approved it at today's board meeting on the correct date.
but can you tell me how much contract? The
Absolutely.
dollar amount, and what was the engineer estimate?
I can.
Let's see.
Sorry, I just have to find the page. So, the total estimate is $1,019,700.
Yeah,
And federal funds will be 750. And our share is 269,000.
Was that a split, our share, was
Yeah.
that a split with?
It was with,
Village of Farwell.
yeah,
yes.
Farwell.
yeah,
How much of that 269 is us and how much is Farwell?
50/50.
Okay,
50/50,
Yeah.
yeah, 50/50.
I got a letter yesterday from DEQ. They finally approved our, Eagle permit.
Yeah,
It's official. And I talked to MDOT and it should be in the October, it's scheduled for being let in October. First Friday of October.
Okay.
I'm good. You need a motion?
Yep, I need a
I make a
motion.
motion, Dick sign it and Merle sign it. Is that what you want?
Normally it's
Dwayne.
Dwayne, so,
That's what I meant.
okay.
that's what he meant.
So, Tim,
Second,
I'll
support,
Support.
Probably gonna be spring construction.
Good.
yeah,
It's been on the table for 12 years.
well, it's been on the table for
For a
quite a
while.
while, yeah. So that's good. You got that, Kim?
I do.
Okay, let's go to number 3. This is that COVID consensus.
I have a cough. I have a cough.
We just
Wanna
wanted,
go home?
Preparedness and response plan.
yep, we just wanted you to be aware of the plan. And Dave did a lot of work to put everything together and our procedures. We had a meeting with the guys and went over everything in the office staff, so. Just wanted to,
So everything's up to date on the COVID. I mean,
It's already in place, I think, basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
but Dave's been keeping up with all the executive orders.
Good luck with that.
If that's
You taking
possible.
everybody's temperature, Dave?
You have my. No, we weren't going
you
to.
do temperatures?
No, we just do daily screenings. Basically, we ask them,
If they have diarrhea?
we ask them questions and basically, by law, we're not allowed to go
No,
into
okay.
great detail of medical questions, but, we just follow the
Follow the
up-to-date
criteria.
COVID-19 screening process
Mhm.
and that's done every morning before they start the shift, so.
Okay, every morning, yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, and every guy was given the plan, so they're well aware of.
So everything's on the up and up.
Yeah, it changes very
Oh, yeah.
quickly, but we're trying to stay up to date with it, yeah, the best we can. Yep.
Good,
Good luck.
okay. Number 4, culvert repair on Dover. That's at,
We had the Dover Road closed, the culvert was failing, so we
Yeah.
replaced that. The guys did awesome. And
is that a good sized culvert on that road? What was,
6x6 concrete box culvert
The
we
con-
put
the
back
box
in,
culvert,
yeah,
yeah.
40 feet long. We did that with all our own manpower, except we did have to work with, Chartier supplied us a excavator that could actually lift the pieces. They were 22,000 pounds a piece, so.
that was quite a job.
But our guys did most of the work in-house, and they did awesome. So I wanted to put guardrail on there for safety. It's on
Yeah.
a curve and everything. The old guardrail was way inadequate, so I put together a quick bid for the Dover guardrail and 3 other locations in the county that Dave and the foreman came up with that we felt were in need of
A
fixing
guardrail.
for safety reasons.
Mhm.
So I got 3 quotes and we awarded it to Dale Dukes.
What was the quote?
33,000.
33,000, right here, that.
Do you need
Oh, we got it.
a
Your quotes
motion
are
on
on
this or
there.
you all set?
Oh,
I think that
Is that
It was an
That
emergency.
was mine, I
Yeah.
know.
So he
Oh, okay.
Find
has,
it in yours,
Yeah.
the number.
So we're all
Oh,
set?
I've seen it.
Okay.
I got it right
I
here.
think we should still approve it as the board, but he had the right,
I make a motion, we approve the
I'll
call for the
second it.
guardrails as Dwayne's recommendation.
okay?
Support?
Okay.
Okay. Number 5, Griffiths 2020 board election.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I know we go through this every time.
Well,
4 seats are open.
Okay, but here's the difference.
14.
So you have 4 people.
Yeah,
The UP position, there is only one UP person, and it's a 3-year position.
yes.
So obviously, we can't vote for anyone else but the UP
That's
person.
right.
Well, you can do whatever you choose, but I'm just telling you who's
Well,
where
yeah.
and what the vote is.
Yeah.
There is one 3-year northern, but we do have 2 northern seats. So the difference is, the last 2 votes are one 3-year at-large seat, which can be anyone from
You're getting
anywhere.
in the weeds. Who do you want us to vote for?
I can't tell you who to vote for.
No,
I'm
no,
just
no.
saying that there's 2 northern,
Yeah.
one can be an at-large and one can be the northern.
So we gotta get rid of one. So we look at the pictures, who's the ugly one we don't want him on?
Well,
Just a minute here.
but, I'm not super familiar with Doug, but I've seen him around. He's obviously a nice person. I've
Yeah.
seen him at a lot of conferences.
He's got some experience.
Uh-huh.
Yes, been around.
Jesse Campbell, I know him. I've seen him at a lot of the northern stuff.
Kim, how about this? Who would you vote for?
If I was voting,
Yeah,
it's a lot of pressure, but
come on.
I would vote, Jesse for the 3-year
Yeah,
at-large.
yeah.
I would vote Tom for the UP.
That sounds good to
Then we
me.
have to vote for
I would,
UP.
I would vote,
Beth for the Southern.
there is no Southern. I would vote, Beth for the, 1-year at-large.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I would vote, no, I can't do that. Yes, then I would do Doug for the northern.
So we have 4 choices and 4 votes. What's the question?
Who we wanna vote for?
This-
well,
That's all I got is 4 positions and 4, just gotta figure out which
Kim,
position.
I
Kim
make a
knows-
motion
years.
that you take care of this and do your best.
if Kim knows these folks and I just go with her recommendations,
It's me.
because we don't know who they are.
Can Dwayne and I,
Yes.
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 So-
You guys take care of it.
You guys do that.
Trust your decision.
okay, so give me who's making a motion to
I'll make
this?
that
Or
motion.
Dick is. I'll second.
Okay,
Throw it on Dick.
Carrie, you're good?
I think so.
Mel
Yes.
and Bill?
It's about
I would
yesterday's.
rather have somebody voting for these people that know them.
No,
Oh,
they-
yeah.
who they are.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
Then if something goes awry, we can blame you.
Okay, I gotta take this off. I can't breathe.
Starting to hyperventilate over that one, Kim.
So is that one done now?
Yeah.
Let's move on to number 6.
Gracious me.
Service request module or whatever that is.
Yeah, our phone.
What is that about?
So the service request module, you wanna
Yeah,
take it first?
what is it?
Do you want me to just go?
Well, for the service request, it's been working great.
Yeah,
But we talked internally and it shouldn't really be used for like abandonment issues or stuff like that, because it's gonna be ongoing and I don't want it to sit on our thing as active, so that's kind of the way we did. Al has talked to Mr. Sapansky.
yeah,
It
Lincoln Township.
sounds like he's good. They had a good conversation yesterday. Al met with him.
What's it about?
There's I guess the way Al explained it, there's a 20-foot wide piece of property that runs to the lake,
To the
by
lake,
Lake
yeah.
George.
Yeah,
And I don't believe it's up. Al looked into it and it doesn't show on our Act 51 map, so
it's not ours.
basically he wanted us to say like, we don't own it and we don't have an interest in it type thing, so.
Easy way.
But that also leads to number 7, which was just
Number 7,
showing
yeah.
our,
Yep,
is this to show our, how we go about,
abandoning,
Abandoning.
yeah, which we've had for years, yeah.
So
Yeah.
Mr. Shapansky owns the property.
no one does, but he wants to own it. But it's not ours. to
It's
It's
use.
not
not in the original
Abandoned,
plot,
so,
it's
right.
not in the subdivision plot?
Al did look at he does have the plot, but it's
That would be,
not on our,
that would be up to the township then, wouldn't it?
correct.
Yeah.
This, the way Al explained it was the road commission doesn't really have any
Good.
involvement in
Right.
it, so Mr. Stepanski was,
Then he can deal with the township on it.
correct,
Yeah.
yes, so. That was the update.
But we're not on the tax ID number of that parcel.
No.
No.
And we don't know how we got on,
I think he just came to us thinking we owned it.
So there's a couple of them little
Well, yeah.
dead end stubs down there that goes to the lake,
Yep.
but we have road ends and he's
Yeah.
probably thinking.
Somebody
I
in
don't
Lake
know.
George told him that it was
That
ours.
could be.
Yeah, somebody told him it was ours and
Okay, good.
That's right.
So he
Yeah.
just got some misinformation at a different level of
Yeah.
government. And when he called, he said, I was just told to ask your board to
Yeah,
sign a letter saying you're just gonna give it away. And I just said to him, that isn't correct. I know that we have a petition for abandonment. I just can't find it when I'm on the phone with you right this moment.
Here's what I don't
So-
wanna do. If it's not our property
We
to
don't have anything to do with it.
work with, I'd rather do nothing. I don't wanna abandon that property.
No.
Correct.
Right,
No,
right.
All right.
No,
I'd rather do nothing is right.
Yeah.
that's,
It's not ours to do anything with.
that's where we're at.
Yeah, that's simple enough.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Did you know, we have more
Yeah.
public comment, Lee?
You come in a little bit late, so,
So if I can just have a minute of your
Yeah.
time.
well, at this time, you go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Most of you know me. My name is Norman Kuchar.
Yeah, no,
I live
it's-
up in Frost Township. I also handle a lot of the road issues, culvert issues on Wilson Road for the property owner, James Poe. Last week, a week and a half ago, I made contact with the road commission. The beavers had plugged up the culvert, and they beat me. They got the ditch too. So I had to have help. I contacted the road commission. They put me in touch with Brian Kuhn,
Yeah.
who I guess is your North End manager. And he immediately contacted me. Went out there at 7 o'clock at night, looked over the situation, come up with a plan. And my God, Thursday, they were there.
Good.
We ran into a few extra problems. They solved them. They had to put a culvert in one area because the culvert had collapsed. It was just gone. And they cleaned out the ditches between the lake culvert and the stream culvert, which was a good 500 yards.
Is that right?
They cleaned them. They cleaned the ditches really nice. They leveled everything out. We have great flow now. The road manager come out to assess the situation also, which kind of surprised me because I've never seen that. And I've lived here for 26 years.
Well, I'm sure. I'm sure.
I just wanted, everybody's great for coming in complaining and yelling and screaming at the road commission. I wanted to come in and let you know that this went right. This made my job a lot easier, which is going to free up a lot of your assets, a lot of your time, because now I can go in. I put screens over these culverts. I go in, I clean the debris, pull the screens, flush everything, put them back in. I'm keeping the lake at level, I'm keeping the creek at level, and I'm trying to keep the beavers at bay. Having that extra little bit of help just freed up 3 to 4 years of your time dealing with this.
Well, yeah.
So
See, Dwayne,
Hmm?
that's why you're the manager.
I have to say,
No,
I was very impressed
No, I'm
with the
serious.
speed that this was done.
He's got good people working for him, his foreman and everybody. And we asked for change and we're getting it. I think he's doing a nice
I
job.
will say out to my place, the culvert down the road from my house has overflowed probably 10 times in the last 15 years.
No, yeah, I imagine.
And it has, the county comes in, they cut dip and sand it. But anyway, they fixed it a month ago. And hopefully,
Thank you for giving us.
hopefully it works
Yeah,
good. I mean,
no,
That was the
We like
good.
good news.
That's really
coming
enough
from
good.
you.
All the time.
Time's up.
Yeah, don't change that.
You know that, Norm?
I'm here to talk about Major Mountain Road.
Now you're gonna talk about that, huh?
I have come into the board several times over several years. They started to do crack seal years and years and years ago, and was never completed, and it has never been gotten back to. The road was paid by special assessment to be brought up to Class A.
Right.
Okay? And I feel that the road commission is dropping the ball on maintenance. I would like to see something done to save that road, clean out the cracks, crack seal them, and I'd be happy with that. They started the job, it was never finished. I know it's a fill-in job because it's close,
Yes, it is.
but it hasn't been filled in. So all I'm asking for is a little bit of attention on that.
Yep,
And
That's
that's
all we
my complaint.
I will
That's
look
all
at
we
that.
need, Norm.
I'll look at it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Other than that,
But I've known you for
I
a
think-
long time, Norm, and for you to come in and give us a good mark, good praise, I appreciate that.
I will be I'm the first one on the line. I don't come here without having a potential solution for a problem. I always come with a solution. Now, my solution might not work, because I don't have all your end of it. But at the same time, I'm not gonna come in here and just keep screaming and hollering at you. I want to work with yous. I want to solve problems in our community. That's what it should be about. I've been to enough meetings where I've listened to them trash the road commission.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm done with that. If you're not part of the solution, then you are the problem.
Right.
And I'm not afraid to tell anybody that. I don't care. I have a mouth on me. I'm not afraid to use it.
I know that, I know that. Well, anyway, that's good.
Thank you.
Norm.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
I do think you guys are headed in the right direction again.
Well, I appreciate
I'm liking
that.
what I'm seeing throughout the county. So, you guys keep up the good work. And I know you have a hard job, and I know it's really unappreciated. That's why I wanted to come in and say, look, this little project went well. Thank you for that.
Well, thanks, Norm.
It also made my life a lot easier.
Yeah.
Dwayne, I greatly appreciate the attention that you took the time to come out 7 o'clock in the morning and look at that.
You're welcome.
So,
Thank you.
thanks, guys.
Alrighty.
Have a good day, everybody.
Staff
Hey,
report.
Norm.
See you, Norm. How about staff reports now? Let's go, let's start with Dave and
No,
Because you missed us for a while.
I'm over there. He's there. We got 4 mowers out mowing. Now we're trying to get through everything twice was our goal. Normally we do that. We've had a lot of breakdowns with the mowers this year, so right now, knock on wood, they're all running except for the boom mower. That's down again.
I have a question for you though, on the mowing. Are you guys into any of the township, like around the lakes and the,
Yeah, that actually came up to me. They should be doing that, and I don't think they made it in there, but yes, we will. be.
Different.
Going into subdivisions, you're saying?
subdivisions, yeah?
Yep, they should be, yep.
So
So you're
you're,
mowing on county, is what you're saying?
Correct, yes, correct.
okay, because there's been a lot of them that needs it bad. you know.
We had a spike in service request for mowing, so we kind of shuffled
Oh, yeah,
guys around and every mower that's operational
Mhm.
full
Is that-
force to get caught up.
yeah.
Yeah, at least, hopefully we can get through the
But you're doing a
blacktops.
nice job. The
Yeah.
roadsides are looking good, you know. You got-
Springwood Lake is getting gravel today, the project in Hamilton.
Oh,
Springwood
yeah.
Lake sub.
Mhm.
And Hayes is brining today, just letting you guys
Hayes is
know.
brining today?
Yep,
Okay.
and, just other than that, we're doing our maintenance to keep up with blading and brining. Everybody's trying to get their brining in towards their last one for the year, so.
Yeah, well, it's getting there.
Hayes Township does pretty much the latest brine of the year. They actually will brine in September, so they're the only ones that'll brine that late, but
So
other
they're
than
on,
that-
pretty much on schedule. now.
other than that, yeah, we're starting to wrap up the brining season, so,
Mhm.
you know, but just other than that, it's normal maintenance. So,
Normal maintenance, good. Well, you guys are out there, by the looks of things, in the public comments, I'd say that you're doing a darn
Good
nice
job.
job.
Mm-hmm.
Got your, you got your ducks in a row. Is there anything else?
No, we got a couple projects. We're gonna do some heavy maintenance on Brand Road, just so you know that, around by Packard Farms. We're gonna try to help that road. It's been an issue for a while. So
Yeah.
Yes, it has.
giving it some special attention there too.
What are we doing, Dave? Anything? What?
The whole scope, I'm not
Sure, yeah.
totally sure yet,
Okay.
but yeah, we're just gonna try to fix the issue that's been there for a while. You know, a lot of it's, a lot of it's the farm.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
but he
A lot,
does,
lot of equipment,
Mhm.
a lot of heavy
So
equipment.
we're trying to combat that.
but doesn't he do some help for us?
Yeah, we've been coordinating with Roger. And,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's pretty good guy to work with, isn't he?
yeah, he seems to be, we've met with him a couple times actually. Seems to be going in the right direction for that area. So.
Good, good, good. All right, is there anything else, David?
No, sir.
Okay, before we get into commissioner reports, I'll go with Dwayne, see what you got.
Like Dave said, we got the projects, we got the service calls, maintenance stuff going on, and then Al and Mandy Farner's in town, so they're chip sealing and fog sealing all over the place.
Yeah,
They're doing the MDOT work and our local work, so they'll probably be here for the next, I'm gonna guess, 2-3 weeks still. And then we still have some, I think we have 5 overlay projects to still do with Reef Raleigh, so,
Have we?
yeah. But all those, everything's ready to go, just whenever they call
Are
it
they
out.
are they long, lots of miles, or?
No, like probably under a mile each.
Oh.
I mean, one day here, one day there
Yeah.
type thing, so.
Okay.
I think that's about it.
Okay, thank you. Keep up the good work. Now, Commissioner Harmon,
I've got nothing,
nothing today?
nothing today.
Okay,
I just have a question, Dwayne, on the grader that was
Oh,
smashed.
yes.
Is our insurance, is everything,
what
do
happened
you know
to
what's
the
the?
grader?
Oh, it got nailed by a drunk driver the other night.
You did?
Have you seen the pictures?
Was
It was parked.
It's parked
yeah,
at,
Trails in.
Trails End in town by the state park.
Oh, yeah. the trails
Guy
there.
went right through, took out a few. He sat there for 3 hours.
Yeah, like 1:30 in the morning, Sunday morning.
I'll show you a picture.
1:30 at night, Saturday night, whatever you call it.
When he took on that grader, he tried to
Apparently
get
he
hurt.
hit it
didn't
going
he?
about.
Oh, yeah, he's in the hospital. I don't know if he's out yet or not, but I
He
just
hit
didn't
it-
know.
He hit it broadside going about 70 miles an hour.
No kidding.
Oh, it's not pretty.
So it did substantial damage to the grader. We took it to CAP this morning.
Which grader was it? One of the
40.
latest ones or the older one?
He should be dead.
Number
Is
40.
it 40?
It was,
It's one of the older ones, yeah.
Yeah, number 40.
But he went right
It was an
through.
8th grader.
There you
40.
go.
Number 40? Yeah, oh.
Do we,
But is our insurance, everything's cool? We're not gonna have out of pocket? Okay.
Oh,
And
no.
their,
I was just wondering
they're
on
actually,
money on that.
insurance is covering us for a rental. So we were taking the one to CAT so CAT could evaluate and come up with the estimate of damage. And then we were bringing a rental back so it should be here this afternoon. So we lost a day on a grader, or a couple days, but we'll be back at it.
I didn't know if you didn't do much with it.
Okay.
And Donna and Dave have been dealing with that, taking
From
care of the
Texas,
insurance.
this
So.
guy from Texas.
You don't have anything?
I was just answering.
Ironically, the couple we were with, when we got the picture, his son responded to it. He was there was like 24 cans of beer in there, drank, and he was into another
I'll
12
let
pack.
everybody know for the record, that wasn't me that hit that.
Well, that's good to know, but it wasn't
he's
you.
pretty severely injured, so.
Okay,
Yeah, I
let's,
think he's.
let's
I don't know
move
if he's
right on
still in,
here.
but
You've
it's
done,
okay.
I don't have anything now. How about you?
Life is good.
Yes, sir?
I do have a couple things.
Yeah.
First of all, I would like to send our condolences to the Givas family.
Oh, yeah,
We
Jimmy.
lost another retiree
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah, he's a cousin of mine.
Jimmy Givas.
Jimmy, give us.
You didn't get the message.
No.
Yeah,
Oh, my.
I got the message a couple of days ago because he's
Yeah,
relation, you
right.
know.
Jimmy worked here 37 years, so.
He passed away at home.
Send our condolences to him, or to his family.
Yep.
And I did go to the city of Clare and Frost Township since their last meeting, and everything was going pretty good. Frost is
Good.
really happy about their projects. They had nothing but good to say
You know,
about
that's
that.
nice when you can go to township meetings and not get,
Yeah.
not get chewed up.
And I do have some stuff to discuss. I got calls about, with Dave, I'll talk to Dave or Dwayne here later, just, a couple complaints, nothing major. But other than that, everything was good.
When you get those, I mean, are you reminding,
Yeah,
call the office and
yeah,
make the
two of these
ticket?
people come to my house, so I just say, call the service request line, and they don't do it. I think I mentioned that to you about the one at Frost I don't think the guy ever did call, did he?
I can't remember.
Well,
Okay. Yeah, I'll
do you
talk
know
to
what his
Don.
name was?
All I knew was his first name was Dale, and it was about West Long Lake Drive. Yeah, and I mentioned that as the first thing I said, call our service request line, and I explained that all to Frost when I was there, how it's working.
Yeah.
But, people are really, you know how it is.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, but, I've been here, 24 years now, and, talking about, going to township meetings and this and that, over the years. When I started, I was about 6 foot tall.
Uh-oh, listen to this, man.
Yeah, I know. The only good,
That's what happened.
yeah, the good thing about it is now we got caller ID.
Yeah,
That's the difference.
that's good. So, you guys take, keep Dwayne going like he's going, and you'll be all right. I'd hate to see you lose a lot of weight and get short like me. Okay,
I'm all
well,
done.
Dave and Al, on a quick note, Dave sent out invitations to all the townships, so I think he's already got feedback on.
Yeah, about 6 of them.
Wow.
Good.
Six
So
or
are
eight
you
of them.
gonna provide food, they'll all show up?
No, they're gonna meet individually with each supervisor,
Oh.
and they're gonna do a ride around.
Good.
Oh, good.
Ride the township, come up with a plan
In
for
the
next year.
good.
River
and hopefully
Township, yeah.
projects, paving, chip seals, whatever they feel they need. And try
So
to-
each one will be individual right around.
Yep, and then we'll be able to compile a list of.
Yeah, that's better than taking a group.
That's
of
really
buses.
good. Do it once a year.
I'm
and
gonna
then-
get it today.
Okay,
This was bothering me. Karen have anything?
no,
No worries.
we're all
Stay
set,
my
we're all set.
question.
Meeting adjourned.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
Okay, support. And it's about what time?
10, 11? Okay.
Yeah,